Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Brother Bear. This is a 2003 animated film from Disney. It is an hour and 33 minutes long, and yeah, it tells a story. It doesn't seem apparent from the start here, but it's kind of a telling of a kind of a fable or an allegory to certain aspects of our society. But it is all about a boy who wants to become a man, but becomes a bear instead. Yeah, our main character is Kanai, and he's played by Joaquin Phoenix. So it's not exactly, just under the radar kind of actor, but he's Joaquin Phoenix. He's giving the voice to our main character, who, among a set of three brothers, living in sort of the ancient North American wilderness, the native people of the North, and out of North America, I can safely say this takes place in Canada. Why can I say that? Because, well, even though there's still woolly mammoths roaming the world, but roaming the planet, but and there's no borders yet. There's no Europeans coming over yet, but let's just say the moose, they're a little bit Canadian, just a little bit. The reason why I say that is Dave Thomas and Rick Moranis provide the voice of supporting characters as a comic relief in this fairly heavy story. If you don't know who Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas are, they are Bob and Doug McKenzie from the movie Strange Brew. And in a very real sense, they recreate those characters. They're from the movie Strange Brew that came out in the 80s. And it's also from a series that they would do on a series of skits they used to do on SCTV back in the day. Again, Rick Moranis from Ghostbusters and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Dave has done a ton of other stuff as well, but they made their own movie at one point. Yes, this is a VHS. If you can't see it, there's a bunch of VHS tapes just stacked over there of 80s stuff, because I love it so much. And but they played the mooses, and they literally, not just through their voices, but they are animated to be like those characters. Because Dave and Rick are both Canadians. SCTV was a Canadian comedy sketch show, much in the vein of Saturday Night Live, but also most of it wasn't live. It was all pre-taped skits compiled together, and we got a lot of people, John Candy and Eugene Levy and so many other people from that comedy group. But this is a side story, but it's one of my favorite things about this film is the fact that Dave and Rick are in this recreating their characters, Bob and Doug McKenzie. They don't go coo. They don't do that. if you heard me say that, well, then you know exactly. You've seen Strange Brew or The Great North. I even had the album back in the day. I had the record or the cassette, and then the CD. Doesn't matter. They animate the characters to talk out of their mouths like this. Good day. The when I saw that, not again, they could have just had them speak in their voices, but they animated them to talk out the corner of their mouths, and it's just amazing to me. It's a wonderful thing that makes me so happy. Not just for their comedic side story, which just is their R2D2 and C3PO of this fairly heavy drama. To a degree, it's heavy. It's there's a lot of comedic elements to it. The brothers that Kanai is part of. Three brothers. I don't think they have parents in this story. They do have an elder that there's always a mystical elder in touch with the other world and the spirits and the ancestors and things like that. But again, this is the kind of type of story that will allow for that kind of thing. Don't expect this all to be based in science. This is meant to be an old fable kind of story, and so. Kanai and his brothers, they go out hunting and they want to prove themselves as men. And when they even are even given little totems that they get to wear. One is an eagle. Their eldest brother is an eagle because he looks over his brothers and protects them. I forget what the one is for the other brother, Denai, played by Justin Reyes. I can't remember, but Kenai gets a bear. The love of a bear. And it's meant to represent love. He's like, how am I supposed to be a man with love? What is that supposed to mean? Like he wants to prove himself, and well, they go out on an expedition kind of thing, and they risk their lives each and every day, but they really look out for each other. They are close as brothers can be, and one of them gets lost. One of them loses in a fight with a bear that Kenai pretty much stirs up. It's pretty much him. And I'm going to spoil certain aspects of this film just so you get an idea of what this is all about, just in case you're wondering, should I do this or not? I'm not going to give you the ending, but I'm going to give you some of the gist of what this is about. So Kenai gets in a little bit of a conflict. Our main character gets in conflict with a bear, much bigger bear, and it seems pretty aggressive, but his big brother, who looks out for him, who is, where is he? Come on. Sitka, played by D.B. Sweeney. I don't know that voice. I didn't necessarily choose Native Americans to portray all these characters. I shouldn't say the native peoples. I don't want to necessarily say they're Americans. It's America Vespucci. It's an Italian, so it's not. They didn't call themselves. They called them by their tribes, and I don't know if the tribe is even mentioned in here. But these are closer to Inuit peoples. I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, but I don't think that was I don't know if it was a big concern when they made these films. They just chose native people of the North America continent, as we call it now. Joaquin Phoenix has a name that I imagine sounds Native American. River Phoenix, Joaquin Phoenix. It seems fairly, they have a Native American origin to their ancestry, but I don't know. So anyway, we lose one of the brothers, and Kenai is dead set on getting vengeance against the bear that was responsible for taking his brother's life, even indirectly, because in a very real sense, Kenai is responsible, and I think that's what's boiling up in him. He's blaming the bear, and if he slays the bear, then he has the ability to sort of clear this all out in his head. So it's the scales are balanced. Internally, he kind of knows it's his fault, and this is how he deals with it. His other brother tries to stop him, but things go awry, and something major happens at just an interesting moment that transforms Kenai into a bear. A young teenage-aged bear, and it's disorienting at first, and it's he gets to walk in another person's shoes. It's one of the main stories, one of the main kind of purposes behind telling this story. When reflecting upon our society as a whole, just saying, hey, you don't necessarily know what somebody's going through, what other people are going through, until you step into their shoes. Understand who they are as a culture, not just assume one thing of them and then blame all your troubles on them. Scapegoating them. We have a lot of that today. It's pretty much, yeah. It's prevalent even today, centuries after this movie took place. And so he gets to live as a bear, and he's helped along by a little cub named Coda, who is voiced by Jeremy Suarez. And his voice sounds so familiar. He's all grown up now, but I thought for sure that he was in some other animated stuff that I saw from Disney, but I don't think he was. At least I didn't see it. But one of his major roles is Coda as a child, and basically becoming the little brother to Kenai. And there's a road trip, and it's basically they're trying to travel to a place where the spirits meet the earth, and hopefully, Kanai hopes he can become turned back into a man, and just get rid of this whole crazy adventure with being a bear. What is going on with that? But along the way, he learns a lot of things, other than meeting friends like the mooses and the rams, who are really into their own echo, fighting with their own echoes in the mountains, and a number of other animals along the way, including lots and lots of bears. One voiced by Michael Clark Duncan. There's a whole bunch of people you might recognize in this. Where's the one voice? Estelle. Is it Estelle? Oh, Pam Adlon. She does some voices in this. Oh gosh, yeah. There's a couple of voices you'll recognize in this. Greg Proops, Estelle Harris, who plays an old lady bear. There's they're reflective of another culture that just happens in this story to be bears, but it could be any other misunderstood culture that we, whether we're Americans or any other nationality or people around the world, we just go, well, those people are like that, and they're a threat to us. Let's write them off. Yeah. Considering that this movie came out 2 years after 9/11, I'm sure this movie was in production long before that. It sort of seems a bit timely, because very often after everything that happened in 9/11, we demonized, and we as a nation here demonize Muslims out of the gate. And this is certainly not saying using Muslims as part of the story, but it certainly fits the bill. Let's just say, overall, people were threatening innocent people's lives just because of the way they dressed, the way they spoke, and the faith that they had. We saw them as a threat, and they weren't. Few select people who are extremists in one thing were seen as were a threat, absolutely. But then, yeah, in this though, we get to see Kanai, and us through Kanai get to see what it's like to walk in other people's footsteps and realize that they're not too different from us. They want peace and love and happiness and a full belly and just family. They want their children safe. Sometimes they got to do what they can to protect their own, as anybody would. So, yeah, we get to see the story, and it doesn't hit you over the head with it, as I am being now, trying to explain it all poorly. But it's really well done. And by the way, I hope Phil Collins is still around, but he doesn't do music, especially live performances, anymore. I think he's had a bit of troubles over the last few years with his voice, but man, he really builded it out for a lot of Disney projects in the 90s and early 2000s here. He is all over this soundtrack. Yeah. He is, didn't he do like Hercules? No, Tarzan. He did Tarzan. He did, I can't remember which others, but he offhand, but he is a humongous part of the soundtrack. And if you love Phil Collins, and if you love hearing what he did Tarzan, you want to watch this film just to hear the stuff that he does in here. There's at least 3-4 songs that he is performing. There's other singers that do some other songs. It's not a musical by any means. There are sequences that are bridged by music, by musical performance, montages and things like that. There's a few moments where maybe Coda might sing part of that song, part of the song that gets built up into a bigger production as they travel, but yeah, it's not a let's all sing everything we feel kind of show, kind of movie. So yeah, this is the kind of thing that it's funny, it's heartfelt, it's heartbreaking, because certain things are revealed in this story that are upsetting. If you don't realize it from the beginning what went down, by the time it starts getting close to a point of revelation, second act kind of thing, you'll see it coming before the characters do. And how they handle it is pretty good. Don't let it say lack of prominence in the pantheon of Disney films let you treat it like it's something less. It is a fantastic film. It's a along the lines of just a standard 2D animation, painted backgrounds, just gorgeous, gorgeous hand painted backgrounds, and it's some of the earliest. I can't say the earliest, but it's some of the early usage of 3D animation intermixed with 2D animation without being overly obvious and forced. It really works. There are big spanning shots of, say, the bears at the salmon run, which just suddenly you go from a small space, pulls out and moves around, and it looks fantastic. So for the animation, for the acting, the characters, and the simple but poignant story that runs throughout, this is worthwhile watching. Definitely give it another shot. Let's pick tomorrow's episode. 17. We're really staying on the low numbers here. I don't have to scroll very far at all. Hey, it's a short. We haven't had a short in so long. But yeah, all these documentaries, 2 days of movies, and now a short. This is from 1946. We're watching Bath Day. Yeah. I don't know who this is. It could be... I'm feeling that's Pluto. Like, it's not a big deal if Mickey or Donald or Goofy takes a bath, but I'm feeling Pluto might be adverse to this. So Bath Day from 1946 is what we're watching next on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.